glass of water over this way, but I could not go a whole day without speaking to the teacup. So here we are, live and alert from not Teacup Castle, from Teacup Car. I'm waiting to see, am I sideways? Because I've had to turn it this way. You're wedged, right? That's not going to work. Hold on, we're going to have to, I think, do it this way. Is that going to work? I can't tell because you are wedged as it stands on the headrest of Teacup Car. But obviously that has me sideways, which is just not going to work. Let's go back this way. Guys, let me know. Let me see. We're obviously winging it right now, so do bear with me. You're going to see my fingers on the screen in the way. We don't normally stream on location, so we're making it up as we go today. Is that a little bit better? I don't know. No, I'm still sideways, aren't I, guys? Supposedly this should rotate. It's not rotating, so I'm sideways. Well, that's just not going to do at all, is it? That is not going to do at all. Now if I press that doesn't turn it around. Lads, why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult to do things when you're not in your studio? Right, let us see, because we are quite literally winging it. What we might have to do, guys, and we might be doing this live on stream, we might have to move into the front seat of the car. Bear with me. Hopefully you can at the very least hear me. I know obviously the sound is not going to be as good as usual, but at the very least hopefully you can in fact hear me. I see everybody waving, nobody's saying I'm muted, so that's good. At least it does appear that you can hear me, even if I am a little bit sideways. Right, we're gonna have to fix this. Bear with me, guys, I'm working on it. I don't know what, yeah, okay. Let's see if we can make this work. We're going to do some finagling with this and see if we can get it at a better sort of a view. I didn't know if that would be sideways. We were sort of testing it out, guys. Test failed. So we're relocating. When you see me in a moment, I'm going to be in an entirely different place, so bear with me. Okay guys, I think we're going to be a little bit closer to each other, but hopefully that'll be alright. We'll not get too up close and personal, but we'll do our best. And I do have a computer here, so I can see your comments. Oh dear. Wouldn't be like me to have some gremlins, lads, would it? Wouldn't be like me at all. Right, there you are. Now let me see if you can see me again. Let us give this a go. Okay, you should now be able to see me. I should now not be sideways. We are now in a different part of the car. I would have preferred not to do it here because it's a little bit more awkward. But the most important thing, you can see me, you can hear me. Would this work? I wonder. Let us try. I have one of those. Maybe that's gonna work. Maybe that's good. Would that be in the way? Let's turn this off. That's not so bad, is it? That's not so bad. Okay, we're going to do it from there, guys. We're going to do it from there. How have you been? How have you been? Good to know that whether I'm at Teacup Castle or whether I'm on location out camping, some things never change. One of the things that never changes is clearly going to be the fact that I struggle with technology. But at least you know it's really me. It's really me. It's not some alien. I've not been abducted. I'm not a different person. You couldn't fake this level of incompetence with technology. But guys, we're here, we're live. You can hear me and see me. I can see you in the chat. That is the most important thing. And as Bonkers says, we're teacup camping. I love camping, guys. And I did warn everybody who was on the show yesterday, there would probably be a little bit of disruption to the streaming for today because obviously I am out camping myself in Boffman. And yes, Damien in there with one of the main talking points. Guys, guys, realistically, I do not have my normal, obviously, computer or settings or anything in front of me. I have this, which is me, and I have you here, which is the chat. That's all we've got, which means absolutely everything we talk about in this live stream is going to be entirely down to whatever it is you guys want to talk about. I'm just making sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, no, I wanted to make sure when I was doing all of that finagling, I didn't miss any super chats or stickers or anything. Imagine the absolute scenes if I'm out here camping, wrecking the gaff, and then on top of all of that, I absolutely lose my mind and miss some super chats. So we're not going to do that. But Buddy keeps asking me if I'm at McDonald's. I don't know what McDonald's you have, Buddy, but our McDonald's tend not to be camping in a forest beside a lake. That's not normally where our McDonald's are. I also don't know why you think my car looks like McDonald's. This is a car, you know, like seatbelt, all that kind of a thing. No, I'm not a McDonald's. What a strange question to keep asking, Buddy. I think you have McDonald's on the brain. But I see Rob, I see Defios, I see Lucky, I see Danny, of course I see Buddy, there's Flossie, I see all of the wonderful people in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. I do appreciate your dedication to the channel, because honestly, this is different even by our standards at Spill the Tea Lou. So thank you so much. Please do remember to smash the like button on your way into the show, folks. It does just let everybody know that despite the fact I am not at Teacup Castle, we are having an absolutely lovely time having an old natter here. Sorry, I see somebody pull it up. They look like they're going to go camping themselves. Maybe I'm going to have a camping neighbour this evening, but we will find out quite soon. I see Random is in the house as well. Hello to Random. And yes, bonkers, don't let Lou talk about Araújo. I did see that last night. I did see that. I put it into the Discord for the Liverpool fans. I'll get in. I am. If you remind me, I will speak about that as well. But right, let us start at the start. Manchester United did have a pre-season game today. They played in pre-season against PSG. I believe it ended 1-1. I did not watch the match. However, I have been informed and I have seen online that Mason Mount, 19 minutes in, I believe, went off with an injury. Obviously, not totally unexpected for Mason Mount to be injured. I would never wish injury on a player. I think he's been very good. I've actually enjoyed seeing him playing deeper. I think it's really suited him. However, I do also think, do you know what? He was going to get injured. Not that I would wish it upon him, but he was going to get injured. That's the type of player that he is. He's an injury-prone player. And if he was going to get injured, obviously we hope it's not serious, but I would also be quite happy that it's happened now rather than happening after the window's closed. The club has gone, oh, do you know what? We don't need another midfielder. This was a question you guys have been asking me. Do I think Man United won't sign another midfielder because they're going to count Mason Mount? I said I think it's in doubt whether they would sign another midfielder regardless. That theory is now going to be put to the test, because the fact is, whether it's a long-term injury or just a minor injury or just a precaution, what it does is it absolutely just highlights the fact that we cannot rely on Mason Mount for an entire season. We absolutely do need another midfielder. It's nothing to do with Mason Mount's ability. He's a very talented player when he's on the pitch. Unfortunately, outside his control, because I am sure he would very much prefer not to be injured, the fact is he's an injury-prone young man, and he struggles to get a string of matches together. And when we're going and looking down the barrel of 2 games a week and hopefully 4 competitions at least for a little while, we need somebody who we are not afraid every time a strong breeze kind of comes across them, they're going to end up injured. So I am disappointed for him he's injured. We very obviously hope that this injury is not going to be something serious. However, I think if it was going to happen, which it likely was, then it's better that it happens now before the window closes rather than after the window closes and there's nothing we can do about it. This might be the push that the board need, because supposedly they're taking account of their options, they're trying to decide where we're going to go next, they're unaware of the fact that it's August and we need to do things a little bit faster. This, if they were undecided about what to do or where to go next, which decision or position to prioritise, then realistically we need to get somebody else in. So it may just be the case that it pushes the board or the decision makers in a specific direction, having been uncertain for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks apparently. So we shall see. I believe, and do correct me if I'm wrong, because guys, I am just going off limited signal out here. I'm actually hoping that this will last, this signal, for as long as we possibly can, so we can have a good old natter. But am I correct in saying, did the goalkeeper go off? Did Tom Heaton go off injured as well? Is that correct? Because obviously Sene Lammens and Matheus Cunha, I understand that they both missed out, I believe due to illness, was what I read online. I don't know if anything new has come out about that, and maybe it wasn't illness. The last thing I heard was that it was illness for both Cunha and Lammens, I believe. To be fair, guys, and I always say this, see when you're traveling and then you're crossing time zones and then like aircon everywhere, all this sort of stuff, it makes you ill. I don't care what anyone says, this is my conspiracy theory, aircon makes you ill. See when I go to a country where there's loads and loads of aircon all the time blowing on the top of you, cold air, then you're in an enclosed space, whether that be an aeroplane or whatever, a bus for traveling in, and then they're crossing time zones, and then they're trying to get their bodies back into a routine, that your immune system can take a dip there and you can have an illness. I don't think it's anything to be crazy worried about, if I'm totally honest. But we'll keep an eye on that. But then obviously we got in Darlow from Leeds. Darlow had an operation, I believe it was at the end of the season, so just at the start of the summer. He underwent an operation or some sort of procedure, which is the reason that he's not currently available. But it's obviously now going to start to beg the question of, okay, well, if Tom Heaton's gone off, who's the third choice keeper, he's gone off injured, the second choice keeper is still recovering from surgery, and our first choice keeper is just back from international duty, suffering a little bit with illness, which I would say under the weather, little bit of his immune system took a little bit of a hit, I would say is all it is. So it was me. Is it Ben Mee? Is that the name of is it Ben, his first name? Ben Mee. But Mee came on for Heaton. Let me know, how did Mee do when he came on for Heaton? But yeah, was it a hamstring, Damien, for Heaton? Thank you very much, Damien, answering all of my questions. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. You are Google today, Damien. I'm going to ask the questions and you're going to tell me if I'm right or wrong. But yes. So we obviously now, Dermot Mee. Who's Ben Mee then? Have I just made Ben up? Right, okay, so Dermot Mee. Thank you to Damien. Again, Damien is Google today, lads. But how did he get on? Was he good? Did he have a nice time? But it does just go to show you, in every single position, all it takes, even when you've got backups, all it takes is one injury and your depth is out the window. Now look, it's pre-season, it doesn't matter, it's PSG, it was only their second pre-season game back before their season. We have Leeds in the week. It's not like the end of the world, but I think it is a little bit of a warning shot that potentially our club needed, because I could see if we'd gone and won against PSG, and then say if we do something, if we even draw against Leeds and then we do all right in another pre-season game, I'm telling you now, the Man United board's going to be like, what is everyone worried about? It's totally fine, we don't need to buy any more players, which obviously is just totally untrue. So maybe a little bit of a shock to the system, do them no harm. And even at that, 1-1 isn't too bad for PSG in pre-season. Will not go crazy. I have seen people saying Santos had another good performance. I mean, I'm not shocked. I have fallen in love with Santos. I'm so delighted that we've got him. Lucky says it was tactically where it went down. Ben Me used to play for Sheffield United. Oh, so I didn't make him up. He's an ex-player, says Flossie. Excellent, right. Well, I didn't completely make him up. Well, that's wonderful stuff. That's good. I'm not just making people up out of thin air. He was a real person. Well, that's good news. But that is not really what we're here to talk about. To be fair, I just wanted to mention it because obviously it's the kind of thing we would normally do a watch along for. Because I was not at home, we did not do a watch along. So I did want to just mention it on the show, to not ignore the fact that United did have a pre-season game today. However, what we didn't have earlier on at 12 o'clock was our transfer show. We did not have our transfer show because I was busy driving to where I am. So where I am is not like near my house, it's like 2 hours away from my house. So we were picking up supplies for the barbecue. We've just had our barbecue. Boffman's out there catching some fish for dessert, and so I said I have to go do my stream. If I can at least do my stream at 7, like the normal time for my folks, then at least we're sort of sticking to somewhat of a schedule. So we are going to get stuck into some transfer news, get in anything you guys want to talk about or don't want to talk about. But before I do move to transfers, I want to say thank you very much to Rob Always United. Rob has sent us the Foxy super sticker. The Foxy has a little bow tie on a bun. Love that. Very cute. Very cute. We've got the Foxy in the chat. Doesn't matter if we're not a Teacup Castle, the Foxy is still with us. So massive shout out to Rob Always United. Thank you very much for that. Very much appreciated. I'm earning my crust today, lads. I am earning my crust today. I'm normally at home. I've got the fan on the desk. I've got the computer that Boffman's built me. I've got all my Google searches. Today it's just me, you and the car. But real old school, if anybody remembers when I first started doing live streams, this is how it was. Not in the car, but I didn't have the computer set up, I didn't have the mic, I didn't have any of that good stuff. I just had me and my phone, and we would just go live and see what happened. That is the origins of Spill the Tea. So for those that didn't get a taster of that way back in the beginning, here we are. So let me scroll up, see what else you guys are talking about there. Lucky is saying Mount Strain, go down to the Glazers and throw in a bid for Sanderberg and Jed Spence. Lucky, the man with the plan. Absolutely love it. Buddy's starving, chatting about all the food in there. All of the food. Mr. DJ Milkshake is with us. Hello to you. He says Alessandro Martinez should be in midfield. The man would end up with more red cards than matches if he went into midfield. Is what I would think of that. Buddy says make biscuits off Mount like Joe Gomez Weetabix. So Buddy unimpressed with all of those injury prone players, and there's plenty of them floating around. Mr. DJ Milkshake confirming the news. Newcastle have said Lewis Hall is not for sale. Guys, I'm not going to remember all the journalists. I saw this news yesterday. I'm not sure if we did get talking about it in the end. To be honest, I've consistently said on this channel, I just don't think Lewis Hall goes to Man United. We have repeated this over and over and over and over again in the face of many people telling us that we were wrong, that it would happen, that he might go. We have consistently said that while Hall is a very good player, while most United fans will be quite pleased with him, the likelihood of him actually going to United is just unlikely. Just entirely unlikely. And then it came out, please feel free to let me know the journalists, but it did come out and it said, the report said that United had approached Newcastle and Newcastle had said he's absolutely not for sale, not on your Nelly, give it up. So just more confirmation of what a lot of us had already been talking about, but it's nice when the journalists come out and actually just say it, because it puts a stop to all of the random speculation, and then people get disappointed because people think something's going to happen and then it doesn't, and then people get frustrated and disappointed when actually in the reality is it was never going to happen. You got your hopes up for something that just wasn't coming. So thank you very much. Damien has said Danielle Can and Keith Downey, Newcastle United have told Manchester United fullback Lewis Hall is not for sale this summer after an initial inquiry was rejected. Newcastle turned down their inquiry a few weeks ago and are in the market to add another fullback themselves. So they already want another one themselves. They're hardly going to sell one when they already need one because they're not stupid like us. Budgie says, so frustrating watching a player come back from injury just to get injured straight away. Budgie, do you know what? Liverpool and United, we've more in common than people realise, because we see that all of the goddamn time. Yes, indeed, we do. But that is not all bad news. Huge is here. Hello to Huge. Huge says, we looked better if you ask me, but the finishing was a bit off from us. Fairs. That is fairs. Totally understandable. I cannot pass comment. I have to be honest, I am very much looking forward to Wednesday with Leeds, because I don't know what the atmosphere was like today, but it wasn't sensational on for the Atletico Madrid game. So I'm hoping, I think on Wednesday, that's going to be a game with atmosphere. Really looking forward to it. Random says, I'm still a big fan of Hull. I'll give up hope on Wednesday. I'm not ready to accept it yet. Random needs a few working days to sort of accept the fact that it's just not happening. That's fine. Disappointments, you're allowed to be disappointed for not being able to get a good player that you were interested in. Absolutely. Rest a little, get yourself out camping, go see the water, and you're going to be totally fine. Yes, Luke. Lovely Luke in the chat. We are in the car. We're not. Flossie says we're not in the car. It's the Teacup Castle Chariot. I love that. I'm going to get a sticker that says that. Teacup Castle Chariot on the car. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you to Mama Flossie. But that is not the only Man United transfer news. We are going to talk about other teams. Do not worry. Keep getting them in. I have seen Carlos Baleba, he has injured himself. Okay, now, just to revisit, because obviously not everybody has been here for the whole summer. People have joined us through the summer. Absolutely fantastic, and welcome to everybody. For those who missed this kind of early in the window when I spoke about Carlos Baleba, I do avoid it as much as possible. Carlos Baleba, last summer, heavily linked to Man United. Carlos Baleba, last summer, heavily overpriced. Man United refused to pay the price. United wanted to pay, I believe, kind of 60 plus. And supposedly Brighton, I saw a report earlier today, on the way down in the car, that that Brighton initially wanted over 100 million for Carlos Baleba. Absolutely off their rockers. Then obviously had a bit of a fall off in the season. There's mixed opinions on why that's happened, what caused the drop off, etc, etc. But I believe he wanted a dream move to Man United. He was this close to making it happen. It didn't happen. He was very disappointed. He was disheartened. That bled into his season for the entire season. Now, I do not blame the young man for being disappointed. I can understand maybe being a little bit off at the first few games of the season, just while he gets over the disappointment. The fact that it impacted him so deeply for an entire season, if he came to Man United, bless him, if he wears his heart on his sleeve like that, that's not going to work. That's not going to work, because if he wears his heart on his sleeve like that at Man United, he's going to be absolutely slaughtered by the media, slaughtered by the fans, our own plus rivals, and I just don't think that's right for us or for him. Therefore, I don't want him. There's been a lot of, when it's been quiet this summer, because nobody really seems to know amongst any of the journalists what Man United are actually going to do in the window. I don't even think Man United know at this point what Man United are going to do in the window, which means nobody else knows. The name Carlos Baleba has been mentioned once or twice by the like of Ben Jacobs, but it's always really been historical interest. Well, they were interested last summer, maybe they'd be interested again this summer, etc, etc. I very obviously do not want the player. Some people really do. They really rate him. Some people say, you know, he's a young man, he's in one off season, it's not a big deal. Either way, we can now put that story, theory, fan theory, ancient history interest to bed, because he has also picked up an injury. They're saying it's not serious, they're saying it's not going to keep him out very long, but we're highly unlikely. We were clearly already unlikely to go back in from, because there's been no actual talk about it really this up to date this summer. His price hasn't dropped as much as his kind of the fanfare has. So his price is still way overpriced, and now he's picked up a pre-season injury. So I think we can just put to bed Carlos Baleba for Manchester United this summer again. And look, if he has a fantastic season next season, then all those people who are saying he was just a young man who had a bad season, we should go from now, they will be able to say, we told you so. Absolutely fair enough. It's not a risk I think we should be prepared to take at this moment in time. But all of the transfer news is not about Man United. There is transfer news from loads and loads of different teams going on out there. So let me see. Manor Solomon. We spoke the other day about Manor Solomon on our stream, so we did. He has now had the here we go to West Ham. We spoke about that the other day. Manor Solomon leaving Tottenham Hotspur to go to West Ham. After we spoke about it, on the 6th, David Ornstein then came out in the afternoon and said, deal off due to the financing of the deal. It's not going ahead, the deal is stalled. Then today, Fabrizio Romano has come out and followed up and said, actually, deal back on. Manor Solomon to West Ham, here we go. Deal agreed now. Medical booked for tomorrow. £5 million mixed fee, £2 million in add-ons to Tottenham, all approved by Tottenham. Solomon to sign a 3-year deal at West Ham, plus option until June 2030. So that's just a bit of an update on a story that we've already covered. He is primarily a left winger. I don't know, I'm checking this, guys. He's primarily a left winger, but he's very versatile and can play as a right winger or an attacking midfielder. Given the fact that Spurs, most Spurs fans that I know speak to, see online, are saying that that they need attackers. That's where they're falling down. They need attackers. This Manor Solomon hasn't played actually for Spurs as I understand it. He's sorry guys, I'm getting my water. He has been out on loan essentially over and over. But that money, so 5 guaranteed plus 2, I would say they're easily achievable, but at the minute it's 5 guaranteed. And I know it might not sound like much money because it's not. That 5 goes towards another player that they do actually want, that they are actually going to play. And I see Buddy there is saying it looks like they are coming for Gakpo. Well, they do seem to want Gakpo. I think they're going to need to take a bit more money in than just 5 million for Manor Solomon, but I mean they've taken money in for a player that they weren't playing, so it certainly can't be criticised at all. And I think it's probably a good move for West Ham, because if he wasn't getting played at Spurs and they've got him for pennies, if he turns out anyway decent, I mean the 5 million in today's market is basically for free. Do you know what I mean? Sorry guys, I need water. I'm talking really fast, sorry. Apologies if you could just all hear me gulping that water, because I know it's not, I don't like to hear people eating and drinking, it's a bit yuck, but my mouth was getting a bit dry from all the yabbering I'm doing. Mohammed says, take Gakpo and Jed Spence is ours. Mohammed's happy to do a swapsy. Buddy's saying Jed Spence money too. That's the thing. But there has been, and I missed the start of these rumours, because we obviously have been speaking about Romero throughout this window. We spoke about Romero and Inter, we spoke about that stalling, we've spoken about Romero and Atletico Madrid, but supposedly it has come out that Arsenal are interested in Romero. Obviously they're City rivals, that would be quite unusual. And then I saw a report from, this is Paul O'Keefe, I believe. Let me double check that I'm not telling you the wrong person. This is from Paul O'Keefe, okay? The rumours linking Tottenham Hotspur's Christian Romero to Arsenal were initiated by his own camp. So the first story came out from Hand of Arsenal saying that the Tottenham Hotspur captain, Cuti Romero, is very open to joining Arsenal, which, I mean, to be fair, does frame it from his side. Then Paul O'Keefe came out and said the rumours linking Tottenham Hotspur's Christian Romero to Arsenal were initiated by his own camp. The other report that I saw on it, and this is from Alfredo Padula, and this is from yesterday, so this could be the one that was being spoken about, but this Alfredo Padula report said Mikel Arteta is pushing strongly for Cuti Romero. Arsenal have stepped up their efforts in the last few hours to sign the defender. The Gunners must repair their relationship with Tottenham Hotspur, but Romero is a player they rate extremely highly. So I would suggest that when this report came out from Paul O'Keefe saying those rumours were initiated by his own camp, so the report from Perdula was 12 hours ago saying that Mikel Arteta's mad for Romero, and then 7 hours ago, so 5 hours after the initial rumour getting started, was that actually Romero's camp had started those rumours. And guys, do you remember I said this earlier in the window? I can't remember if Romero was the player we were talking about or if it was a different player. I think it might have been Romero I said this about recently. You guys probably remember better than I do. And I said, that sounds like it could be his agent coming out and trying to make things happen, because when there's a player to be sold and they're available for sale and the club's happy to let them go and they're happy to leave, but there's not a lot of people knocking down the door, how do you drum up more business? Who did we speak about? And Fabrizio Romano put out a tweet, and the tweet basically said, no change, this player is still available. And I was like, that's either an agent or it's a club ringing Fabrizio saying, please can you advertise this player for sale? I can't remember. Was that Jed Spence? I can't remember, but we've said that very recently about a player where we said, this player, we know it's for sale, nothing's changed. Fabrizio's tweet essentially said, this player is still for sale, nothing's changed. And I said, that is basically somebody ringing him to be like, get this player's name out there because there's not enough interest. That is obviously what Romero's agent has decided to do with Arsenal, associate Arsenal's name. He has potentially, obviously this is my opinion guys, I have no proof that this is true whatsoever. It's purely my opinion, purely my speculation, okay? But it sounds like to me, if I put 2 and 2 together, it does feel a little bit like Romero's agent has rang up Perdula, said, put out a story saying that Arsenal are really interested in Romero. That'll make Atletico Madrid bump up their offer. It'll also maybe make some other clubs go, oh, well, if Arsenal like him, maybe we should go for him too. Maybe he would be really good for us to get. So the fact that it came out, the fact that within hours it was put out by Paul O'Keefe that actually no, those rumours had come out from his own camp. He's made those rumours up himself, or his camp have made those rumours up himself. And then Hand of Arsenal, who most Arsenal fans I believe consider quite reliable, come out and said, well, he's interested in Arsenal, not necessarily the other way around. That seems to be the case. It seems to be that he would like Arsenal, or that he would like more money, and it's a way to make Atletico Madrid pay the wages that he's looking for. It's a way to drum up interest from him and his agent, essentially, is what it looks like. Now, what would be hysterical, and I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but what would be absolutely hysterical is if somebody at Arsenal went, do you know what? We need a centre-back. Why don't we just buy him? I don't see it happening, because I think Arsenal are much more sensible than that, unfortunately. But I do find if it just happened by accident, it would be really, really, really funny, if I'm totally honest with you. But let me come back to your chats, guys, because I've been in trying to read the report, so now I need to come back into a different window to come back to your chats, see what you guys are saying about this. Okay, so Random says, I feel like Arsenal are 80% centre-backs already. To be fair, they're all injured though. And I think they want somebody who's a bit more like ready to go with the Saliba injury as well. That's why they were looking at John Stones. I don't think it'll be Romero. I don't think it'll be Romero at all, but it would be really funny if it happened just accidentally after his own camp supposedly started these rumours themselves. What else? Daphne says, wait for the Atletico. They are coming for Romero. Fingers crossed for you guys. Let me see. Rob says, it did sound unlikely. Yeah, it did. It did. Daphia says, Arsenal getting Romero, not going to happen. It's bad blood. Mohammed talking about Ronald Araújo. I'm going to come back to that in just a moment, because we are going to speak We're going to speak about Araujo in just a moment, so I'm going to come back to that. Yazan has joined us in the chat. Hello to Yazan. Yazan, it is not British, as Flossie says, it is very much Irish. If you're struggling though, don't leave, stay with us, turn on your captions and it'll tell you what I'm saying, but not British, Irish. You're not too far off, they're the next island over. The next island over. Carthargic, says Rob. Random, that was beautiful. Oh dear, the car puns are in the chat, lads. Where's the moonshine when you need him? Let me see. Bonker says Palace have reported to have submitted a bid for Lamine Camara, but there are other clubs monitoring him, including Liverpool. Fairs, absolutely fairs. Okay, let me go back to Mohammed's comment, because that is the next story that we're going to talk about, guys. We're probably not going to get to the full hour we would normally do. I'm probably going to do this Ronald Araujo story, and then we're going to go and make sure that Boffman hasn't fallen into the lake. If we can at the end, what I'll do is I'll take you and I'll show you a little bit of where I am, because it's just absolutely beautiful if it's not got dark. So we'll cover Araujo, then we'll have a little look at the lake, and then I'm off. Okay, so let me see. Mohammed said, Ronald Araujo, I don't understand why people are saying it's a bad deal when it's a loan. Yes, people can have their own thoughts, of course, but you can't go wrong with that low risk. He has the experience we need, and he is depth. And you know what? I have to go along with Mohammed on that one. If you feel differently, do feel free to get into the chat, because last night, when all of the news started to come out, I did see an awful lot of Liverpool fans that were really, really, really unhappy about this. Now, supposedly he's just come back. I think he took a break for mental health reasons. He's just come back, and I believe he's supposedly injury prone. I don't know, but the fact is, you really, 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 really badly need a centre back. This guy, he's on loan from Barcelona. He is going to have a point to prove, because either he's going to want to prove a point and do well with you guys, or he's going to want to prove a point to Barcelona that they should take him back at the end of this loan and not sell him. So either way, he's coming into this with a point to prove. And you know what? Sometimes a rest does you the world of good. Sometimes a rest gives you the energy to keep going. I don't know how good or bad he is. I haven't watched him, so I'm not going to tell you a lie and pretend. But in my point of view, having a player in a position you need is better than not having any player in that position. Now, if that's all you do for the rest of the window, that's a little bit off the wall. However, if you're doing a loan deal there because there's big funds that you're going to spend elsewhere, such as on Barcola, like, would you be happy to miss out? For the people who are not happy with this, would you be happy to miss out on Barcola, get a cheaper winger, so you can also bring in or buy in a better, what you would consider a better centre back? Or are you okay with taking him on loan for a season, getting in Barcola, and then getting a better long-term solution next season for centre back? Because at the minute it seems like those are your options. Get a centre back on loan, or don't get a centre back at all, or miss out on Barcola. I'm not going to criticise people who are not happy with that, because it's your club and you are absolutely entitled to feel exactly how you feel. However, I also think just the other side of it is, it's either you get one on loan or you miss out on Bradley Barcola. And I think if you miss out on Bradley Barcola, or you don't spend the money elsewhere, and all you've done is this loan, absolutely lose your mind. But you know what I mean? There's always trade-offs in the transfer window. So, like, at this moment in time, United need a backup striker, a centre-back, a midfielder and a left-back. We are not getting all those players. Therefore, for me, my priorities would actually be left-back, backup striker, then third midfielder, then centre-back. That's where I'm at. There's other people that will completely disagree with me and say midfield is absolutely the number one priority. That's exactly what we need. We've depth in other positions. We can move players around. So the thing is, it depends what you value the most, what matters to you the most, how much each deal will make you satisfied or dissatisfied. Do you know what I mean? I do see we have NS Sports and we have guests in the house. Welcome to you guys. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Huge says he started 11 games last season. Yes, that's what I said. As far as I understand, he was on... do you remember what we did with Sancho? We gave Sancho like 3 months off for mental health. From listening and seeing things online, from my understanding was he was out for a mental health break. He does have injuries, but he was also missed some time for his mental health, I believe. Now, if that's incorrect, I hold my hands up, because it's just, I have not had time to research everything 100% properly the way I normally would. So if that's wrong, let me know. But that, as far as I know, contributed to some of the games he didn't play. It wasn't all physical injuries as such. But yeah, 11 games in a season's not great. It's not fantastic at all, really, to be fair. Bonker says he can play right back also, which is something that Liverpool would be happy about. Let me see. Daffio says Liverpool need to pay PSG fast because getting back and forth is not good. Let me see. Lucky is saying Shea is very good. I do like Shea Lacey. He's such a good wee player. He's such a good wee player. Guess is hitting the like button, so if you have forgotten, now is your moment. Right, what else have we got going on in the chat, guys? Oh no, I'm pretty up to date. I'm doing pretty good. I am doing pretty good. 250k a week. It's a lot. It is a lot. I'm not saying it's a sensational deal. I'm just saying I can see a positive side to it as well. Buddy says Araújo can play right back and centre back. He was a former captain of Barcelona and a leader. He is a stopgap until the other defenders come back. And that's what I mean. I think it depends what angle you take it from. There is negatives. Clearly, you would prefer a permanent deal. You would prefer somebody who played more than 11 games last season. You would prefer somebody that was your first choice. You would prefer somebody without these doubts. Obviously, there's downsides. There's also positive sides. All of these. He can play right back and centre back. He's a captain that brings leadership at Barcelona. Do you know what I mean? And he is a temporary solution. Mr. DJ Milkshake says he played 1,000 minutes. I don't know how many minutes is in a season now. 9, that's 10, 11. So yeah, just over 11. Just over 11 games would be about right, because 90 minutes, 10 games is 900 minutes. Add another one, so just over. Mr. DJ Milkshake says he came on as a striker in a lot of his appearances, similar to Maguire moving up front. I mean, to be fair, if we were desperate, I would move Maguire up front, so I'm not even going to complain about that. Also, if Isak gets another injury, they might need somebody who can play right back, centre back and striker. So that actually might be an even better combination than we thought before. Random says, I think Liverpool might keep him. He's got Gravenberch revival all over him. Now, to be fair, one of the things that really set people off about this loan deal was the fact that there's an option to buy. It's an option, and the option lies entirely with Liverpool. It's nothing to do with Barcelona. Only Liverpool can activate it. So if Liverpool don't want them, it doesn't get activated, and then that's the end of it. So I have to say, look, there is negatives. There's definitely negatives. I'm not saying it's all sensational. I'm not saying gloss over them. I'm just saying, as much as there's bad things, there's good things as well. And we do have to remember that there is good things. Buddy says it's 180k a week. To be fair, Buddy, I also saw over 200k a week. So let me double check it. What is Araújo's weekly wage, because I did see other people. Now this is from Capology. Araujo, €240,000 excluding bonuses. Right, what is that in pounds though? €240,000 in pounds. So supposedly, and this is according to Capology, it's £205,000, and then on top of that is his bonuses. That's per Capology. It does seem to vary. What I will say is it does seem to vary depending where you look, because a lot of the Liverpool publications are saying 180k a week. But then their salary leaks is saying 240, like what I said. There seems to be a lot of variation in what people are reporting it as. Capology are normally pretty alright in terms of the player wages, but look, I'm not going to argue with anyone because there's like about 6 different numbers being reported there. So whatever you guys trust yourselves, you guys go with that. Right guys, what we're going to do, we're going to put on my fleece and I'm going to show you a little look. Oh, there's a heron on the water. Right, okay, give me a wee sec because it's cold. So I need to put on my fleece. This is my lovely fleece. We used to sell these in my shop and I kept one for when I go camping and I love it. And we're going to go and look at the lake for a wee minute. And then I'm going to say goodbye to you guys and I'm going to go and see Boffman. Get our bonfire going. So let us see. We need to put these on or else I can't see anything. Right. Then we turn this off. Get ourselves together, guys. Now, let me see. Oh, you're getting such a big close-up of my face. Lucky you, getting to see my face that close up. I mean, who wouldn't love it, eh? Right, now, how do I turn this around? I'm like a granny, so I am. I'm actually like a wee granny. So this is where we're doing our camping for this evening. Now, we're away the other direction, but just to give you an idea, a wee bit of a sneak for those who have come with me out camping. I want to give you a wee look at some of the beautiful Irish countryside. So let me just give you a good old look around here. So let us go down the way and we shall say goodbye. Right, let me get on my tushy and I'll be able to say goodbye to you all then. Isn't it lovely? Isn't it lovely and peaceful, guys? So let me turn you back around. Now, folks, so I am off back. I'm away off to find Boffman. Make sure he hasn't fallen in this lake. We're about to light a wee bonfire. I will be back tomorrow, folks. Again, just the same as today. I'm not really sure what way the layout's going to be. There will be a stream tomorrow. It's more likely going to be in the evening time. Same as today. Just keep a wee eye on your notifications. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it so much. Obviously, I understand the quality is not the same as when I'm at home, but I couldn't go a whole day without talking to you, especially when there was so much to talk about. Thank you for being here. Thank you for smashing the like button. Thank you just for being the best teacups ever. Thank you very much to Rob Always United for sending in the super sticker of the day. Enjoy the rest of your evening, folks. And as I said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Keep that notification bell on, okay? Have a good one.